like the third time I've recorded this video, and I've had some technical difficulties. The creator gods don't want to allow me to make stuff, apparently, along with WotC. So, as many of you know, there's a horrible thing going on with OGL. We talked about it on Monday a little bit on natural ones, and you know, it really kicked my butt in trying to get Cowpunchers completed, Cowpunchers Reloaded. So I've released Cowpunchers Reloaded. It is $10 on DriveThruRPG for the PDF and $9 on Big Geek Emporium. Link will be in the video description for both. I am working on getting pod set up, so if you're waiting for a print-on-demand version, that will be coming soon. So you can hold off on that for a few weeks. It's going to take a few weeks to get proofs set up and to deal with the horrible user interface on the back end of DriveThruRPG to get it set up over there. Big Geek Emporium is actually not too bad, so... but it's still going to take time. I got to order proofs. I don't want to put it up there and just let you guys and roll the dice, pun intended, and have you guys get like a crappy quality print book that I could have fixed if I had ordered a proof for myself first before I made it go live. So I'm waiting to get some proofs in, and once proofs are in, I will announce when print-on-demand versions are available. But for now, the PDF is available. And the thing is this game is released under the Creative Commons CC BY SA license, which means that you can take anything I make in Cowpunchers and it's true copyleft. If you want to make a supplement for Cowpunchers, if you want to make a totally different spin on the rules, you want to do a space mercenary game with my rules, more power to you. You can do it. It is under the Creative Commons. You don't have to ask me for permission. You don't have to pay me a 25% royalty. You don't have to pay me a 10% royalty. You pay me a 0% royalty because I'm not Wizards of the Coast. I want to see people make cool things, and I want to see the hobby grow, and I'd love to see a group of creators kind of go around the system of Cowpunchers and make cool stuff for this game and the system. People seem to like it. This original version here was... a silver bestseller on DriveThruRPG, and it's done quite well. I'm proud of it, and I'm even more proud of this version. This old version was like a 24-page rules-light game. As you can see, this one is 151 pages, including the cover. So we got a lot of content here. So you can see it is a whole new layout. There's some new art in here. There is lots of... I give you some historical information here on the Wild West. Very basic overview. You're not going to be a historical expert on the Wild West, but it's enough to give you sort of a basic understanding of why the West was the way it was and how people thought and what society was like. What were the roles of different people and how were they treated? All that kind of stuff. So... useful for both players and range bosses, game masters, in order to run a game, play in a game. So you got lots of historical information. We get to this rules systems stuff. Some things that have changed here is I have changed the way bonus dice work. 18 now gets a +3 in the original version. 18 was lumped in with this bracket here, so the highest you get was a +2. I felt like getting a score of 18 is always important, and so I changed it so that you get 3 bonus dice when you have a score of 18 in one of your 3 core attributes. Skill selection and point allotment at the beginning is different. It's based on age. Where the younger you are, the less skill points you have, but you have a potential having more skill or more attribute boosts, core attribute boosts, because you're young and spry and you're not all rickety and old. Whereas the older you get more skills and a lot more skill points. You're going to be really good, but you might not be as healthy. So you're going to have to take some vigor tests. If you fail a vigor test, you have to reduce one of your random core attributes by 1. So you roll a d3, and whatever one you roll, you have to reduce. So if you're going to play a 60-year-old, you got to do that 9 times. You might be too old and frail to go out adventuring by the time you have that. So you know a lot of stuff, but... you might not be the most healthy individual at the end of the day. I have multiple options for hit points. Hit points have been completely reworked. Skills have been reworked a little bit. They're now tied to core attributes, and you roll the skill bonus dice plus your governing core attribute plus the core die for a much larger dice pool, which will give you more successes and I think make players feel like they're doing something. So some new art here, as you can see. You've probably noticed that as well. Lots of new art in this. I have this ace in the hole rule. Optional rule will give you more of a heroic kind of feel to the game. So definitely check that out. Essentially, one time per adventure, a player can double the amount of bonus die for a single roll to make sure they really have the best possible chance of succeeding as they possibly can. And that's why it's called the ace in the hole. For equipment, I statted out every single firearm from 1840, not every single, but most firearms from 1840 to 1899. I do have the reload speed is changed. So one thing I found with the game was that when I wanted to make it so that you can't just like, it's a 6-round revolver, right? It's a 6-cylinder revolver. You can't just be like shooting 12 rounds or allow, like in D&D where it's like a crossbow, it's like, oh, reload in 2 rounds. Like, I don't know. There's 6 different shots in here, and you gotta, if it's ball and cap, you gotta put the ball in on one side with powder, and then you gotta put a cap on the back side on the nipple, and it's a whole like process for it. Oftentimes, cowboys just carried multiple pistols, which is solve your problem for the most part. But I added a reload speed so that if you do need to reload and you're under pressure, you can perform firearms plus finesse skill checks, and the number of successes you rolled subtract from this number here. So reload speed of 7. So if I roll 2 for reloading, instead of reloading in 7 rounds, or combat rounds, it will reload in 5. And I can do another finesse check beyond that to keep reducing the time. This way, as time goes around the table in combat rounds, those that are not firing or shooting or actively engaged in combat are still engaged in combat in that when it comes to their turn, they need to make a roll in order to reload quickly. So I feel like it will speed up time around the table. It will make players engaged even when they are not shooting at something. And I think that's an important aspect of the game. I'm quite happy with the way that mechanic turned out. So we got rifles here. Again, they have the same governing rules. I hope you guys like the layout. I hope you think the layout looks a lot better than the original version of the game. I think I quite like it. Lots more equipment and clothing. Lots of services, property, hirelings, I think are an important part, especially if you're trying to go for that old school flavor of gaming. Combat is reworked, no more initiative, everything is simultaneous. It's very similar to Classic Traveler in that you're going to I give you a little outline here, you can read it here. So first thing you're going to do is determine the facts of the encounter, determine if anyone's surprised, to determine what the range of the encounter is, do a reaction roll if need be. Are either party escape, and do they choose to escape and go unnoticed? If combat happens, begin the combat round. Everyone moves at the same time. Everyone declares targets at the same time. Everyone attacks at the same time. And if an attack would affect an attack of someone else, whoever rolls higher is going to succeed and cancel out the other person's attack. For instance, if you and I are shooting at each other and I roll more successes than you, I'm going to shoot my gun before you shoot yours. You have to do the finesse defense check and your shot doesn't go off. It's like you got it up here, I was quicker on the draw, and now you're like, oh crap, I got to get out of the way. So that's kind of how it's working. So you go through all the facts of combat. So attack rolls are made, do defense rolls. If an attack is successful, or a counterattack is successful, roll for damage, roll for morale if need be. And if combat is continuing, go back to the beginning of 2 movement, declare targets. And that's how combat's going to go. I think removing the initiative rolling makes it feel more chaotic, like a real gunfight would probably feel. Feels more frantic, feels more urgent. And I think it makes combat a lot faster and quicker, which I like. Got reaction rolls. Let's see. Cover and concealment is changed a little bit. And again, we're going to those reloading rules here. I got an example combat encounter. I think that's always really important. So it's like a little thing here where I actually played it. I made a character and I used it. I'm not James, but I used it as an example of like how it would. I made a character and used an example of how it would work out. So hopefully that helps explain how combat works. Chases, and then hazards for those chases. I got a D66 table here for how those chases will work. Part 6 is downtime activities, so healing, traveling, transportation. There's homesteading rules, random encounter rules. disease rules. So if you want to run like an Oregon Trail kind of thing and have everyone die of cholera, you can do that in Cowpunchers. So I think that's cool. Or you can give everyone syphilis. That's also an option. And there's rules for how these diseases affect characters. Homesteading rules, so that that can kind of become, like if they want to become a rancher, players want to become a rancher and develop some side hustle income, I guess, that can help fund hirelings, help fund a gang, help all kinds. It can be very helpful to have a business of sorts in Cowpunchers, but you can also go into debt, and there's rules for that as well. Then we have our stat blocks, very similar to what's in the original one, but it's just expanded, and the modifiers and everything are adjusted for the new dice pool modifiers and all that kind of stuff. So then you got some more animals here. I think I added a few more animals. What did I add? I don't remember what I added. I think I added a bear. No, something else. Maybe a mountain lion? I don't remember. Then we got 2 adventures and an adventure map. This is the border. So Mexico's over here. Arizona's over here. No Treasure in Heaven is an adventure where the players are searching for a treasure from an old prospector who's murdered right in front of them. But before he's murdered, he gives the players a map, and the players are now hunted by a gang that is also after the map to this prospector's treasure. Can the players get to the treasure before? Can they survive having this gang hunt them down and trying to get this map from them? And it culminates into a pretty epic shootout at the end. I hope it's epic. And then we have Whitechapel, which is the original adventure. I've sort of updated it and made it a little more streamlined. I redid the maps for this one, and I also added a map for the bandit camp, the bandit hideout. One thing my players did is, as soon as they knew that there were bandits in town, instead of waiting for the bandits to come to town, my players were like, hey, let's go to the we want to try and track down the bandits where their hideout is and see if we can murder them all in their sleep. And very brave. It didn't work out for them. They had to flee and run away, but it was fun nonetheless, and it made me realize there's going to be other playgroups that want to do that. So I figured I needed to add rules for doing that. So I made a map for it here, so you can kind of get a rough lay of the land. And there you go. Then I have some adventure seed ideas, the new character sheet, which I think looks a lot cleaner and nicer. It's a better character sheet than the original one, I think. And then we get to again to this part here where, like I said, where this is released under the Creative Commons CC BY SA 4.0 license. I want to see people make content for this. Again, you don't have to ask for permission. If you have a copy of this, you are able to make content from it as you wish. And you don't have to ask for permission. In fact, I'm excited to see where people go with this. If they want to make content for this, I think that's cool. And again, I'm doing this because I want to make a license. I'm not smart enough to write my own OGL license, and I wanted to make a license that would make people make it truly open gaming. I know it's not a D&D system; it's a dice pool D6 game, so people might not like that. But I still wanted to put it out there as an alternative to D&D. I think my system's a little easier to learn than D&D. I think it's easily hackable too. Anyways, I hope you enjoy Cowpunchers. I hope you make something for it. And, if... sorry about that, too. My daughter had to run in. She wanted to go potty. She had to go potty. So, you're supporting me when you buy this game. And obviously, since it's under the CCBYSA, you can share it with other people as well. So I appreciate you guys checking out the game. I hope that it becomes a viable system that people want to build upon and use and get creative with. I think it's a very easy system to hack. I definitely kind of went like that BX approach where I wanted a system where players could, and game masters and referees and designers could look at it and be like, oh, that's cool. I don't like this, so I can take that part out and replace it with this. And oh, look, the game still works just fine. So that was my goal with this. So if you like what I do, please check out Cowpunchers Reloaded. It's bigger, better, and grittier than the first time. So Thank you guys for watching. If you like what I do and want to support what I'm doing, you can support right here on YouTube in the join button, or you can tip in the video, or you can look on my subscribe star, my gilded page, and you can support there as well. You get perks like maps, and my $5 tier supporters got the PDF of this for free. So you get stuff like that for free when you join and support whenever I release big content like this. The higher tier supporters get that stuff as part of their subscription. So yeah, I look forward to seeing where things go with this. I hope that people like it, and can't wait to see what you guys do with the system out there now that it's in the Creative Commons and I shared it with everyone. So check it out. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.